Now, latest Bank of Ghana data tracked by Joy News Research shows Ghana's public debt stock swelled by more than 70 billion Ghana cedis in the third quarter, with projections showing that the total debt could exceed 700 billion cedis by the end of this year, should the city remain under dollar pressure. And head of research here at Joy News, Ghc70, is back in the studio and has all the data details, and is joining me with more. Isaac, once again, run us through the figures. At what point did we accumulate this amount of money on our debt?
Well, in fact, we have been placing tabs of Ghana's debt stock since the finance minister came out to say that, well, we've been able to reduce the debt stock, the debt stock from somewhere 760 or 80 billion Ghana cedis to about 600 million cedis because of the appreciation of the cedi. So it was only important to keep an eye on the debt stock to see what was happening when the cedi struggled in the third quarter, we all remember. So as it stands now, this was the first quarter figure that the finance minister spoke about. The debt stock around that time was around 769 billion Ghana cedis. And when we got the good appreciation in the second quarter, this reduced significantly by more than 100 billion cedis to around 613 billion Ghana cedis. Now, as of the third quarter, when things began going the other way around in terms of the depreciation we saw, which was about more than 20% depreciation, what we are saying is that this actually led to our debt stock rising by 71 billion Ghana cedis. So currently, as we speak, as of September 2025 this year, our debt stock has moved from 613 to 684.6 billion, so roughly 685 billion. Now, this is where the big challenge is in terms of, where this is coming from. If you look at the external side, if you can go to the next slide, the external side, as we have tracked, is the biggest component in terms of where the big burden is coming from. So second quarter, good period, 300 billion cedis in terms of debt stock externally. Now we are talking about 367 billion cedis, which means that within just a period of 3 months, our external debt stock, primarily because of the depreciation we saw in the third quarter, has now gone up by some 67 billion Ghana cedis. We're keeping an eye on this because should the cedi remain under the pressure of the dollar, the likelihood that we might see the debt stock going back to the regions of 700 billion cedis.
And as we speak now, of course, the cedi is attracting some pressure, and you can largely attribute it to the Christmas festivities. But really, how is it going to look like if the trajectory continues this way?
Ken, the expectation always is that if you look at the seasonal component of the appreciation and depreciation of the cedi, it is actually in the last quarter, which is November, December. That is where the cedi gets majority of its strength. But this year, we are beginning to see a different picture because usually we see the intervention from the Bank of Ghana in November and December. And then when you have foreigners coming in, they come in with Forex. So the expectation is that the dollar or the dollar pressure should reduce. But majority of the inflows or the injections we saw was actually in October. That is when we saw the cedi gaining some form of respite. But this December, we are not so sure whether the bank actually came in as it did in previous years, but it actually looks like there is a lot of demand pressure in the market that is causing the cedi to fluctuate at the moment. But it's still within the 10 cedis to 12 cedis margin that or the range that the president gave. But the expectation is that should the cedi remain under that constant pressure of the dollar, we are likely to see our debt stock ballooning back to the 700 billion zone that it used to be maybe when we started the year.
We'll definitely keep tabs on the foreign exchange to see how it affects our debt. Ghc70 is the head of research here at Joy News. Thank you, Isaac.